Welcome back. It is Tuesday. I'm gimping along, you guys. I got hurt a little bit today on the job. I was carrying down. Well, first of all, there was about 6 to 10 inches of mice poop in this attic. This attic must have been like 300, 400, 500 square feet. It was a big attic. And I'm carrying stuff down the stairs. It's third level. I'm carrying stuff down the stairs, and one of the stairs, the front half of the tread snapped and gave out. And so I subsequently fell the rest of the way down fell down the stairs, and I hurt my back, and that pothole really killed it. Man. So here I am complaining to you guys, but I was honestly coming on to give you guys a message of inspiration, if I could, because I think we need it. You know, it's a chore sometimes to fight the fight that we fight, but it's also a blessing, because you know what? The things that come in disguises are lessons and blessings, right? We always learn. Well, I shouldn't say always, gosh darn it, but we you tend to learn more from your mistakes the bigger they are, right? Like a pretty big mistake, you're probably not going to do that again. A pretty small mistake you might make 2 or 3 times before you realize that those small mistakes are just as important or vital as the big ones, right? And I want to keep you guys informed on what is going on in my recovery, because I was just telling somebody today that I had a few things happen in my life between the time that I got sober in 2011, August 10th of 2011, I got sober. That was the day I got sober from methamphetamine. And then I went to my sentencing clean and sober and had graduated treatment. So this was before that. So on my journey in between that time I got sober, right, until now, I've snapped my leg in half. I've gotten 2 or 3 teeth pulled. I've had reconstructive surgery on both of my ears down at the U of M in 2016, I believe. I had total reconstructive ear surgery on both ears. I did one, and then a couple of weeks later we did the other one. Very traumatic on my body, but my point being is that I didn't have to use drugs. Like when I snapped my ankle, I remember they gave me morphine and stuff in the hospital, right? And this is pretty early on in my recovery. This is only 2 or 3 years into my recovery from being clean from heroin, prescription pills, and meth, right? Because those things had a hold on me. Now during this time I was drinking, and that wasn't right. But what I wasn't doing was the old things that I was doing up until that point. And so when I got myself free from doing that, I didn't have to go back, because when I had ear surgery, I didn't take anything home with me. No pills. When I was in there, they gave them to me when I was in there, but I never went home with them. And I didn't go home with them when I broke my ankle, and I didn't go home with them when I had my ear surgery, and I didn't go home with them, you know. So for me, you guys, I'm blessed, right? Because I didn't have to use these things in my recovery, and I got lucky. I did, because when I have an injury like this and I feel like this, the first thing that pops into my mind is relief. That's what everybody thinks about. Like, how can I get rid of this? And then you go through the options of Advil, aspirin, ibuprofen, you know, and all the other things that we could pump into our body that might give us some intermittent help with the pain. But me, I'm thankful that today I'm sober, and that I don't have the mindset of trying to find a pill to cure my ill, right? To cure my back, because that's what I did when I first. Let's share a little something with you, if you don't mind. The first time I used prescription pain pills was in my ex-girlfriend Stacy. It was in her dad's bathroom, and that might be news to some people, but that was the first time I actually tried a pain pill, and I was hooked from then on. But I went through a period of really bad use, and I even got into morphine, and I got into morphine so bad that when I quit doing morphine, my body just totally went through such bad withdrawals that I told myself I would never do that again. So I actually cleaned up from prescription pain pills when I was about 23. But from like 19 to 23, I was using them pretty hard. And then I met my first wife, Erica, and I met her. When I met her, I was clean. I didn't use any prescription pain pills. And then we got married. I moved to Park Rapids. We got married. She was a high school teacher. We coached basketball. We did the volleyball thing, girls volleyball, girls basketball. We coached, did that. And we did a lot of the things together. We made wine together. We would go fishing. And well, I played softball too on like a B team, you know. And I went there one night to practice hitting the balls, hitting the softballs, and swinging the bat, right? And while I was up at the bat, I swung, and my foot stayed stationary, but my knee came up and out of place, and my whole body twisted except for the bottom half of my right leg. That stayed because I had cleats on, and the cleat kept my leg there, but it came out. It was excruciatingly painful. I fell to the ground, and I got to the hospital, and my knee was about the size of a softball, and it was all black and blue, and I could tell I had done some damage. And what I did, I dislocated my patella, and did some meniscus damage, and some ACL and some MCL damage. Right, I have damage underneath my patella still to this day. So that, I went home that day. My first wife and I went home. This was way before kids and all that. I went home and they gave me a bottle of Vicodin, and that Vicodin was gone within a couple days, and I was off to the races again. And I didn't stop using prescription pills or opiates or heroin until, several years later. Through my first marriage, I used all the way through, and she left me after I got in some trouble with the law, and she left me, and rightfully so, I guess. I wouldn't want to be married to a drug addict either. And so when she found out I was doing heroin and doing meth and I was using needles, that was it. I lost my first wife, and I lost that first whole segment of my life. I lost the fun experience of being married and having dogs and owning a house. I did all that in that first segment of life, but it's all gone now. I lost it to the addiction. All I remember is some of the good times, but all I remember is what I put people through and myself through. So that whole segment of my life is gone, and not only gone, but I learned a lot from it. So my life has evolved into a degree of living some sort of recovery every day. I have to, because I've come from so many different backgrounds of addiction, from alcohol, from heroin, from prescription pills, to amphetamines and methamphetamines. I had a really bad addiction to meth too, you guys. I had a taste for every single thing that would go into my body. The only thing I never really did was Xanax and anti-anxiety meds and stuff like that. I never really got into that whole thing. Otherwise, it was speed, crank speed, and then there was, I did some hallucinogens, did some LSD, did some mushrooms, but those didn't really do much to me like the other drugs did. Those weren't gateway drugs, so to speak. I did those, and I was also doing other drugs too, and the heroin and the hash and the opiates and the meth and the opium. I was into it all, you guys, for a while there, and I was hiding out in this place way out in the middle of nowhere, and was up to no good. But today, my gosh, man, thank you guys for letting me share that. It was a trip down memory lane, and it made my back feel better for a moment. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for letting me vent on you guys. And there are some people out there that are judgmental, we'll say. People that look at me and think, whatever, he's just, he ain't got it figured out, whatever. And that's okay. We'll let those people think like that. But I've noticed in time that people come around, and I appreciate you guys for sticking it out. And I appreciate the people that have left, watched from afar, and then have come back to realize that, hey, we're just human beings. Everybody makes mistakes, and I'm not perfect, you guys. I've lost a lot of friends in my life, especially in the last couple of years, and a lot of it's been due to addiction or alcoholism or stuff like that. And so when I lose friends, I take it personally, you guys, and I always want to keep what I got, keep the good things that I got in my life. So if you're a good thing in my life, I really appreciate you supporting the channel. And somebody the other day mentioned that my YouTube channel wasn't working, but it seems to be up and running fine. So everything looks good. Love you guys. God bless you. Have a good Tuesday. We'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna get in and get a heating pad on my back, and take a hot shower after today. Oof. Oof.